His name is on a piece of paper we received quite some time ago when we first started this.
It clearly says in the papers that we have had, if your term of office started prior to August 12th, 2009, which is what applies to our town assessor, you still must keep a record of work activities for a 1-month period and submit it to your governing board. Although we encourage everyone to keep a 3-month log, the regulation doesn't require this until the start of the term after your next election or appointment.
Virginia, it says if your term of office or appointment to office begins on August 12th, 2009 or later, then you would be subject to it. Okay? It says your term of office or appointment.
She's got it in front of her.
I'm reading it too. It doesn't say that. When was Gadovich appointed?
This was handed to all.
When was he appointed?
This was put in all the town board boxes.
I'm sorry, what?
I think it's 2007.
2007. Okay.
Mark,
So
this was put in all the town board boxes by Bonnie. You all have this. We all have had it.
All right.
Here it is on whatever page it is. If your term of office started prior to August 12th, 2009, you still must keep a record of work activities for a 1-month period and submit it to your governing board.
Right. Right.
So regardless of whether you think Steve Gadovich doesn't have to ever do it,
I didn't say that. I said he's not required under the new regulations to be part of this resolution.
that's right. He can't do it because he didn't submit a 1-month log. It says you still must keep a record of work activities for a 1-month period.
All right, so what are we going to do with this? What is it, 11 o'clock?
Bill, I understand that some boards have refused to pass this on the premise that it is not understandable and that the guidelines are not clear. What happens if we did that?
I don't have any opinion on it because I can't speak for what the state's going to do with it. It's not a matter that I've had any time to research, and it is really questionable what the state is going to do with this as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. But this was submitted to us. It's on the agenda. We can either vote on it or...
Is there any impact to the employees if we all abstained on this?
I
You don't know that?
I don't think anybody knows this. But we certainly, if we don't have to vote, we certainly cannot vote.
It says...
I'd like to finish my sentence,
Okay.
please. We cannot vote for Steve Gadovich, who should report a 1-month log to us. If you want to not vote on this now, I don't quite know what your reasoning would be, but if you choose to oppose voting on this now, or you choose to just not approve the resolution, you certainly are free to do that. This is a requirement the state has made. According to the state time frame that we were given, this is the date we're supposed to do it.
Given the new information, I move we table it to next month, and the repercussions are only that the credits begin once the resolution is passed, which would be next month. Once we've had time to
I don't know that there are any repercussions to doing it. It was on the agenda because it was on the agenda because the state requires that we pass this agenda tonight.
If the governing board does not adopt the resolution, the officials' service credit and membership benefits are suspended until the resolution is adopted, which would be next month.
And are you going to seek the clarification you need before now?
Yep, I'm going to call this woman tomorrow. Virginia's going to give me her phone number.
And you're going to get something in writing so there's no confusion at the next workshop?
I think we should always get things in writing when we talk to outside parties.
All right, we'll table it.
Is there a second?
Well, let's make a second and vote on it. I would rather be clear about this.
Is there a second to Mark's motion?
What is
To table till next month.
I'll second it.
You want me to do a roll call vote?
Yes, please.
Mark D'Agostino?
Yes.
Tom Dewhurst?
Yes.
Christopher Flynn? Johanna Schaefer?
Abstain.
Virginia Stern?
No. Okay. The next thing on the agenda is the Cablevision contract We have not really fully discussed this. There needs to be negotiation to get a finalized contract. We need to have a negotiation between a town board member or two and a representative from Cablevision. But that being said, Bill, can we schedule the public hearing for next month, or should we wait on it?
We can schedule a public hearing. What my suggestion would be is that we adopt essentially at least some points of concern or talking points and contact Cablevision to find out who our representative is, and then send that to them and have them potentially come back to us. If we want to hold a public hearing for public comment before that, in order to scope what we want to put into that letter, that is, I think, appropriate. So if you want to set a public hearing and say, these are our concerns that we have, and these are things that we'd like to see in the next contract, we get public input on that and then take that to Cablevision. We have been acting under the expired contract for, I'd say, I think at least 2 years.
I know.
And the question is, you know, we don't know who our contact person is, and we should probably designate someone from the board or someone to be the point person to deal with Cablevision. But again,
That person could be you.
could be me. I think it should also be done in writing to point out, you know, either changes to the contract that's been presented. We don't even know if the contract that we have is still a current contract with Cablevision.
Well, according to Roger Connor, who's a governmental representative at Cablevision, it is still.
Okay.
But I like the idea of having a public hearing. I like your idea of having a public hearing to simply see what the concerns of people are. Because there's no urgency to act on this particularly, since we haven't acted on it in 2 years.
I did circulate, I can recirculate an email to different people. I did a memo last year about certain points. It's just a basic outline of what my thoughts were. It's not to be, you know, exclusive of all the
Right.
points. It's
And
just certain things that are
And I
there.
think everybody has a
Okay.
copy of that. If we set a public hearing for next month, or we could do it at another time, on a Saturday morning. Rita's scowling at me. I was just trying to think of a time when people would be most able to come. That we could advertise it as, you know, really collecting opinions and reactions that would help the town board for, you know, in getting the best contract possible.
We couldn't do it the same day as the garage hearing, and then we could do two at once and get more people.
Well, if
perhaps
the
involved.
garage hearing were 10 to 12, and does it have to, it should be 2 hours. Then we could have it at 12. We could have this one, we could have the Cablevision, the contract public hearing at 12, and not designate an end time.
So you need a motion to set a public hearing if
Okay.
you want to do that.
So when was the date? August?
21st.
So I make a motion that we set a public hearing to hear public concerns and comments about our Cablevision service for August the 21st at 12 o'clock at noon.
Why do we have to make it a different time?
Well, you can't be discussing two things at once. I really don't think that's a good idea. I think you want to do the garage and then do the Cablevision.
Right.
Otherwise,
If
you
we-
just get.
okay, if we
Otherwise,
set-
it'll be like a town board meeting.
If we set a time, if we set a time, then we'll lose the garage people for the cable, but that's okay.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I mean, I think 2 hours is a good time for the garage.